Self-help is one of the biggest industries in the world. But on this video, I'm going to tell you why self-help can only take you so far. And I'm going to tell you what it is that you need to be doing instead. I'm Dr. Maisha. Now, as you probably already know by now, self-help is a huge industry. I remember when I first got into self-help, I read tons of books, listened to dozens of audiobooks. I did workshops, courses, the likes. And now with technology, self-help can be consumed through podcasts, through online videos, through online courses, through pretty much any medium that you can think of. However, self-help is limited. Let me tell you why. You see, when you engage in self-help, you're usually consuming or taking in some type of information from some type of medium, whether it be a print or an online audio or video source of a medium. And that's all great, but the problem is you're usually taking these things in on your own and having to process it by yourself. Now, of course, with self-help, you can gain insight, but it's very limited. It's only limited to your awareness of the deeper root of the problem. And while you may grow and while you may improve certain areas of your life, self-help really is limited and can only take you so far because there are things that you don't know about what's limiting you. Self-help is actually based on you figuring it out for yourself, by yourself. And even if you're a part of a book club or a reading group, it's still you trying to figure it all out. In a way, self-help assumes that you have all the answers and you could figure it out all your own without any input from anyone else. And if you think about it, it's a little isolating and maybe even a little arrogant because it doesn't allow for you to be contributed to by anyone else except for your own mind. It kind of assumes that you alone can figure out all of the answers. And in a way, self-help at its extreme can cause you to be self-absorbed and doesn't allow for the contribution of others. And that's why some people who do a lot of self-help still hit those walls and at some point get limited in the amount of results that they're able to produce in their lives. So the question is, what then do you do when you've hit that self-help wall? And that's personal development. Now, you may be thinking in your mind, well, what's the difference? Let's hash it out. Now, personal development and self-help are close cousins. Yes, personal development is very similar to the self-help regime, but the biggest difference in personal development is that most true personal development occurs inside of a community. So whether you're in a coaching space, a live workshop, a developmental program, or even specialized individual growth training programs, personal development allows you to traverse that blind spot because there are other people involved who can reflect to you the things that you can't see about yourself that might be limiting you and stopping you from taking it to the next level. Said another way, in personal development, you have people observing you and observing your experience, listening deeply to your experience from a different point of view, and they're able to give you a different perspective and often reframe your experience in a way that you can understand what's missing. It was when I started personal development back in 2007, 2008 that I had my first really big spiritual breakthrough. And then again in 2011 when I had my major financial breakthrough. And I will say that up until that time, I had been doing self-help work for well over a decade. But when I stepped inside of a community and began doing more personal development, then that's when I was able to really see the things that were limiting me and have people give a different perspective on pathways that I could take that could really take me to that next level of development. I think the biggest lesson that I took away and that I want you to take away is that oftentimes strong professional types tend to want to figure it out on their own. We feel like we should be able to figure it out on their own, but it's important to remember that we're just one mind. And as I often say, one of my favorite African proverbs, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, you must go together. So what are the ways in which you are limiting yourself by not engaging with community? Where are you engaging in self-help? Where have you engaged in personal development? And what can you see is the biggest difference between the two? Now, one of the ways that I help people develop themselves is through teaching the conscious use of language. This is a way that allows people to really be at the source of their lives, because we know that what you think about, what you speak about, you bring about. And so it's important for us to understand, to listen to our own language inside and out, and to be able to recognize your experience of your internal state and to be able to shift that when necessary so that you can create the most productive results in your life. So now the question is, where are you going to take the next step into personal development? Stay safe out there, and I look forward to seeing you on the next Mind Remapping Vitamin.